On today's show, meet a possible future Olympic champion by the name of Anna. She carries a bow, she's got arrows, and they fly true. There's something special about a handcrafted fishing rod. We found some very special fishing rods made by a very special person.
Okay.
And why not head to the plains this pheasant hunting season? The high plains of South Dakota, that is. And later, our Minnesota Bound Classic is a story about a tree that might look like an evergreen, but it isn't. All about the Tamarack tree. Those stories and more next.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's Select GMC dealers.
Hi everybody, Raven and I welcome you to the show. We are going to introduce to you a young lady named Anna. Mark my words, someday when you see the news about U.S. Olympic archery shooting teams, you'll probably read the name Anna. She shoots arrows, they fly straight. When you're 8 years old and your arrows fly true in Las Vegas, we all know what goes on in Vegas is, well, bullseye after bullseye, year after year. And Anna Whitcomb of Princeton, Minnesota, makes it look so easy.
I practice during the winter and usually during all the competition seasons. I practice probably 2 hours every day. Once I pull back, I'm just concentrating, come on Anna, you can do it, don't blow it, don't scare yourself. I'm always just like this, and I'm always worrying about if I'm gonna go like that or I'm gonna go.
Let's put it this way, Anna doesn't twitch much. Before reaching the age of 12, Anna was shooting arrows like an archery phenom, roundly supported by an outdoor family, and pushed for bullseyes by a younger brother, Jake, and a kid sister, Marisa. Their father, Andy, is coach and trainer.
Anna's going to try to shoot an inside-out X. Jake's going to try to shoot a 5, and Marissa's going to shoot a 5. Nice shooting, guys. Well, right now it's the best out of 3 rounds. So what happens is it looks like Jake and Anna are still in the shooting. Marissa is a little bit outside. So Anna's got to shoot an inside-out X, and Jake's got to shoot a 5. Nice shooting, guys. For me, is teaching kids a sport that the whole family can be involved. Just like my dad, he's 82, me and him go hunting, and we shoot bow together. He comes and shoots 2-3 times a week in the shop, so it's not just a sport that your kid can do, it's a sport the whole family can do. I started her out when she was 2, I got her first bow, on it.
Oh, what is that? Is that Anna's bow?
And by age 6, Anna had a first place trophy. And, well, the trophies and awards just keep coming.
Well, this is my Vegas trophy, and this is my Iowa state. Here, this is a state. This is in Minnesota. This one was in Minnesota. This one was in Minnesota. State here in Minnesota, and in Minnesota. Those are all the ones that I won in Minnesota. Winning Vegas that's my determination. Trying to be the first youngest woman to win Vegas.
Anna's amazing archery skills also have been noticed by state leaders at the Capitol.
We're
delighted to have her here today, to have a young woman of her skill and knowledge to be able to do what she does. And I would hope that you would rise and recognize Anna Whitcomb from Princeton, Minnesota.
She handles everything in stride, which is just crazy for her age. She's very mature about how to handle all the situations, and she never gets too emotional or worked up like some of the other kids do.
Anna has been raised in an outdoor environment. The family runs an archery shop, shooting range, and they raise deer to collect and sell deer scents.
There's a buck.
Oh yes, Anna likes to go deer hunting too, with a bow, of course, and her own camo outfit. And the wait to bag her first deer? It didn't take long. And she already knows when her last arrow will fly.
Till I can't pull back a bow ever.
A Lindstrom, Minnesota artist shares his handcrafted creations. His art, his story, truly inspirational.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers. Connecticut. And by Rapala.
At GMC, incredible thinking is everywhere. It's in the state-of-the-art dealerships. It's in a customer experience that's ranked highest by J.D. Power. And it's in the advanced engineering of the entire GMC lineup. Now get 0% financing for 60 months on any of these GMC models. Plus, 1 year of Sirius XM on Acadia and Terrain.
Up next, a story about a man who would not be denied. He loved making fishing rods, and he does it in a most unusual way. Art is not always in the eye of the beholder. Sometimes it's in the hand of an angler.
It's time-consuming, but when you're done with it, you have a nice finished product that you can be proud of. Say that you did it.
Mitch Bergquist's art form is all about handmade fishing rods. Rods with custom designs. Rods of all shapes and sizes.
I started making fishing rods when I was 15 years old. I fell in love with it right away. I got ataxia, which is a balance problem. To pass time, I hunt and fish. That's the bear skull from the first bear I shot. And also do my rod work. Everything is self-taught, so I've learned how to do different wraps and stuff. I do ice rods, summer rods, casting, spinning. Here are a couple of the rods that I have made. Like this one here is a 6.6 ultralight with a stained cork handle.
While the rod maker creates his art, you may have noticed he uses only one arm. It's the only one he has.
I lost the arm in 1997 due to a staph infection that infiltrated, which means it came out of the vein, and all the medicine burnt all the tissue in my arm. For a while there, I was having surgery at least weekly, if not every 3-4 days.
It's been hard. If you lose your arm in an accident, I think it's more acceptable. But when you go through 65 operations to try and save it, and prayers and prayers and prayers, and still there's nothing that could be done.
To start with, I was very angry. I felt like I was cheated. But you can't be mad at anybody because anger gets you nowhere. So I've always had to try and find the most positive things, even in the worst situations. I've adapted to do so much with just the one hand, and once you're faced with a handicap, you're always faced with it, and then you learn how to overcome it.
And he does, making rods that fulfill every angler's wishes for fishes.
Here is a 7.5 foot medium made for jigging walleyes. Anything from a wimpy panfish rod all the way up to a lake trout rod. If they want their names on them, I put names on them. I do basically what anybody asks me to do on a rod. I make all my handles from either wood or cork. After I have the handle assembled, then I go out and cast it and check the bend on it, make sure all the line flows through all the guides real nicely. There's been times when I've had rods cast so nice I actually hit the neighbor's house down across the road. Whoa! And as long as it doesn't hit the window, I'm in good shape. This here is a reward from the Custom Rod Builders Guild, saying that I'm a master rod maker.
Fishing rods by a determined artist whose life has been challenging.
It's a constant battle to keep watching what he does.
Yet, it's how Mitch lives that is truly his best work of art.
You know, we encouraged him, but at the same time, he's the one who picked it up and started in and bought the components and bought the rod wrapper and everything.
Basically, that tells you that, yes, people have labeled me. I don't let the labeling deter me. If there's a will, there's a way. And if there's a way, I'll think of it.
Look out!
Up next, head to the plains of South Dakota, especially the high plains, on a pheasant hunting extravaganza.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Yard, premier manufacturers of maintenance-free outdoor patio furniture and accessories from recycled plastic.
By the Yard maintenance-free furniture. Comfort, elegance, and recycling combined. Call today for your free catalog or go online to bytheyard.net.
Up next, if you've been thinking about going pheasant hunting, and of course the time is coming soon, we have found just the place where the pheasants fly high, fast, and sometimes down. When October comes to South Dakota, life on the Cannon River Ranch is not all about cows, or tractors, or tumbling tumbleweeds. October is also about ringnecks. What do you think? Okay. She likes this game. But for Lester Copel of Donnelly, Minnesota, and his son Jay, an October of pheasant hunting in South Dakota is also about luck.
I don't care. I'll go wherever you want me to go to.
Yes, Lester and son Jay have come to South Dakota the hard way, winning a prize drawing from Pheasants Forever here at a popular event called Game Fair, way back in Minnesota.
I couldn't hardly believe it. It was unbelievable. It was a dream come true.
Son Jay was sharing the dream too.
Cannon River Ranch is a beautiful setup. The way they have the plot set up, you couldn't ask for better ground.
It didn't take long to see what the habitat was holding. And where'd they go, girl? Huh? Where'd they go? Find them. Raven, the star of PF Television, was doing her thing too. There you go. All right. Raven's right there. Got one leg down, so he shouldn't run. Good girl. Good girl. There you go, Jay.
All right, thank you, sir.
First pheasant of the day.
Yeah.
Now you have to carry something. Yes, the magic of South Dakota ringneck hunting was in the air.
Whoa.
And as usual, the pheasants won a few rounds.
This is a great opportunity. I had a blast seeing the old man miss a few and hit a few.
A father and son enjoying rare time together.
Any opportunity you get to hunt with family, you know, it's a great opportunity.
Tim Koss of Cannon River Ranches said the hunting trip prize was worth it.
You know, we met a lot of people out at the game fair, and it was a lot of fun to meet them. It's fun to have a couple of them come out and see the land and hunt and spend some time with them.
Farm manager Marcus Soon described the hunting goal of Cannon River Ranches.
I'd like to give more of a realistic hunting experience. You go to a lot of places and have just pen-raised birds, and you go out and they flush up a bunch and you're done really quick. I guess so, like more of a wild bird type habitat.
Look out! Soon Lester and Jay had their shooting eyes back. Ooh, nice shot.
Yes, I did. Real lucky.
All right, before we head out again, let me share something with you. I've been field testing a new shot shell made by Federal, and this is going to sound like a commercial, but it really isn't. Federal calls it Prairie Storm. And the reason it's unique and new is because Federal has combined nickel-plated and copper-plated pellets. That helps keep things together. So goes the mystique of ringnecks in South Dakota. But there's no mystery. Where you have habitat, you'll have birds. And if your shooting eye's a little rusty, well, you know what happens. And when the rust goes away,
Good wild South Dakota bird.
aren't they pretty? That's almost an understatement, pretty.
They are gorgeous.
Yep.
Color in the rainbow.
Nice bird. Nice bird. Lucky shot right into the sun.
Maybe that's the message of Pheasants Forever. While life down on the farm is changing, we gotta keep the ringnecks flying. Still ahead, a Minnesota-bound classic on one of my favorite trees, all about the Tamarack.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Hennepin County Medical Center, Minnesota Agricultural Water Resources Coalition, Minnesota soybean farmers and their checkoff.
You know, for me, there's no better way to spend the summer than be on a Minnesota lake or river. But now, thanks to Hennepin County Medical Center, you've got a way to make sure your day outdoors is time well spent. HCMC shares our passion for the outdoors, which is why they put together a website filled with safety tips and videos to help you plan and be prepared. And it's right at your fingertips at home or on the go. Simply visit hcmc.org/outdoors and get the most out of your summer. Up next, a story about one of my favorite trees. All summer long you drive by and it looks like a pine tree, but it's not a pine tree, it's a tamarack. And there's much more to the tamarack than meets the eye. It's a tree lovelier than poetry, to paraphrase Joyce Kilmer. It's also a tree most of us see without knowing what we see. Call it poetic justice for the tamarack tree. It looks like an evergreen one day, only to look days later like an autumn maple.
The tamarac's interesting, it's what we call a deciduous conifer. It's one of those break-the-rule trees. The tamarack is a tree that has needles on it, has up to 15 small needles in each cluster. that in itself is not unusual, but what's unusual about it is that each fall, those needles turn bright yellow into a golden fiery yellow, and then they drop from the tree.
Along with two looks, the tamarack tree even has two names. It's known as the American larch to people who know trees. In the summer, people who don't know trees figure the larch/tamarack is just another pine tree. It's green, has needles. The wood is strong, but it grows in swamps. Maybe that's why you don't hear much about cabins or walls of tamarack. In early America, the pioneers thanked tamarack for lots of things. A concoction from the leaves or bark cured everything from piles to diarrhea. As the days of summer change to autumn, the tamarack too begins a transformation from plain green to brilliant yellow. Maybe tamaracks glow simply to be noticed. Author James Boswell once noted, "We must take our friends as they are." Perhaps the same should be said of the lowly tamarack. After all, any tree that cures diarrhea is a friend of mine.
Ah, the beautiful tamarack tree. We'll never look at it the same again, right? Well, that about does it for us. Remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors. I'm Ron Scherer, and of course, always, star of the show, Raven.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. For more information on these stories and more, catch us on the web at mnbound.com.